Good evening, I'm your host Camelia and you're watching KiniNews. Rafizi Ramli has kept his promise and revealed names of a big shark involved in the littoral combat ship scandal. However, the minister mentioned has denied links to a woman named in Rafizi's revelation.
PKR Deputy President Rafizi Ramli has claimed that Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Abdul Latiff Ahmad was involved in the littoral combat ship or LCS scandal via two offshore companies allegedly controlled by his second wife. He cited LCS internal probe papers that purportedly named the companies and said they were appointed as technical consultants for the project and had sent invoices for work not carried out. Rafizi claimed that the two companies had used a name similar to a French licensed company, and payment was actually misappropriated to the fake company set up in Malta and Labuan. He also claimed that the purported connection between Latiff and the woman was recorded in internal probe papers on the LCS scandal. Rafizi said Latiff, who is now with Bersatu, was at the time an AMNO Deputy Defence Minister, while AMNO President Ahmad Hamidi led the ministry. He added that this was why from the very beginning he had demanded an explanation from Zaid as the then Defence Minister and Najib Abdul Razak, who was the Finance Minister and Prime Minister at the time. He said, "It is impossible that this embezzlement scheme involving projects managed by both of them could happen without their knowledge." He added that he hoped his revelation would shut the mouths of AMNO and BN, who tried to blame the Navy retirees when the scandal was first exposed. Meanwhile, in an immediate response, Latiff said that the woman named in media reports of the LCS project probe is not his wife. In a media statement, he said as a cabinet minister, he was prepared to give full cooperation should authorities wish to initiate further investigations. Malaysia Kini is unable to verify the authenticity of the internal investigation report cited by Rafizi.
Meanwhile, a DAP leader has called for Najib Abdul Razak and Zahid Hamidi to be held accountable for the LCS project scandal.
DAP Publicity Secretary Teo Ching said both Najib Abdul Razak and Ahmad Hamidi must be held responsible for the littoral combat ship or LCS project scandal. In a statement today, she said this is as they allowed 1.02 billion ringgit to be paid as mobilization payment without any clear benefit or deliverables to the project. Teo pointed out that since the tabling of the PAC report in Parliament on August 4, 2022, there has been no explanation from the then Finance Minister in charge, Najib, and the then Defence Minister, Zaid, on the lopsided LCS contract and the mismanagement and misuse of funds as disclosed in the report. Teo said Najib and Zaid must also answer for the problematic issues related to Bustad Heavy Industries Corporation and Bustad Naval Shipyard that were presented in the forensic report on the LCS project. She added that Najib had continuously implied that the failure of the project was due to the stop work order by Pakatan Harapan in 2018, when in fact there was no stop work order and the project had encountered a situation of natural death due to the serious mismanagement and misuse of LCS funds. Meanwhile, she said Zaid had claimed that he had nothing to do with the decision-making process in the LCS project, despite reports from the PAC saying otherwise. The PAC's report had showed that since the project's contract took effect in 2013, the government has paid more than 6 billion ringgit without having a single vessel delivered. It was also revealed that the LCS was based on a model not chosen by the Navy, despite it being the end user.
While we're on the topic of Najib, the former Prime Minister recited an oath at the Kampung Baru Mosque yesterday to swear his innocence in the SRC case. Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak took an oath at the Kampung Baru Mosque in Kuala Lumpur yesterday evening to swear his innocence in the SRC case. Najib arrived at the mosque before the Ishak prayer time together with his son, several political figures and supporters. In his oath, Najib claimed that he did not know that the 42 million ringgit that had been transferred to his account came from SRC International. He said that he had never agreed to establish SRC for the purpose of taking any funds for personal use. Najib also claimed that he never ordered any of the company's directors to misappropriate funds into his own bank account for any reason. Najib said he took the oath to clear his and his parents' names and was prepared for divine punishment if he was lying. This isn't the first time that Najib has taken an oath to deny wrongdoing in the case. He had previously taken a similar oath in December 20, 2019 at the same mosque and recited the Sumpah Laknat in front of trial judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali during proceedings at the High Court in July 2020. He also recited the Sumpah Laknat on December 8, 2021 to deny abuse of power, breach of trust and money laundering charges. Top AMNO leaders from across the country answered a call for an urgent meeting at the party's headquarters in Kuala Lumpur today. According to some of the leaders present, the meeting was on current issues and preparations for GE15. AMNO Sungai Besar Chief Jamal Yunos said a sudden call for AMNO leaders to the party's headquarters today was for a briefing on preparations for GE15. According to Jamal, many division leaders heeded the call despite being left in the dark over the reasons behind the meeting with AMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Deputy President Muhammad Hassan. He said 158 leaders were present and they had also shared their needs and ideas to face GE15.
Ketua-ketua AMNO bahagian 1 Malaysia yang hadir, yang tak dapat hadir pada Sabah sebab last minute, kami mahukan pilihan raya ini dilakukan dengan kadar yang paling segera.
Kenapa?
Ya. Jadi kenapa tu tak payah nak sebutlah. Ya. Majoriti, sebulat suara.
Meanwhile, when met by reporters, Sabah AMNO Chief Bung Mokhtar Radin only said the meeting so far discussed current affairs. Aside from Zahid and Muhammad, party leaders present since around noon include AMNO Vice President Muhammad Khalid Nordin. Also seen was former Premier Najib Abdul, who is Pekan AMNO Chief. Last night, AMNO Secretary General Ahmad Maslan, in a message cited by Malaysia Kini, said the special meeting was called over a matter of utmost urgency concerning the party's future. The meeting reportedly started at 12:30 p.m. before adjourning until later today as Zahid was required to attend his ongoing corruption trial. Transparency International Malaysia has urged the authorities to take action against past President Abdul Hadi Awang over his roots of corruption remarks.
Past President Abdul Hadi Awang has garnered brickbats over his claim that non-Muslims and non-Bumiputra make up the majority of the roots of corruption in the country. This includes from Transparency International Malaysia, or TIM. In a statement today, TIM President Muhammad Mohan said the remarks by Hadi is not only racist, but potentially seditious. He said, it was both sad and shameful to hear the baseless and provocative comments attributed to the past president. He added that parties making such publications and misrepresentations must be held accountable by the law enforcement and regulatory agencies in the country, such as the Police and Communication and Multimedia Commission. He also urged Hadi to provide proof to substantiate his allegations, and called on Malaysians and elected leaders to fight graft using an evidence-based approach and avoid making sweeping statements. Hadi had made his controversial claim on Facebook 2 days ago. In his post, Hadi had said that corruption should be tackled from its roots, and if it was not tackled, it would eventually become a disease. Hadi claimed that these groups who chase after illicit gains are the ones who eventually control the economy. He added that they then damage our politics, and a majority of them are non-Muslims and non-Bumiputra.
Past Deputy President Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man wants the Prime Minister to include all parties in the government in discussions on when to dissolve Parliament.
Past Deputy President Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man said cabinet ministers and all parties that make up the current government must be involved in making the decision to dissolve Parliament. He said this includes the parties in Perikatan Nasional and Gabungan Parti Sarawak coalitions. He said this was as Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's administration is not only dominated by BN and AMNO. Tuan Ibrahim said that in this situation, priority is not only on expediting the general election, but also to see to the aspect of the people's welfare and state of the country's economy. He said it is not a question of a political party being afraid or unprepared to face the election. Instead, the actions by certain quarters of putting pressure on the Prime Minister must take into account realities of the government today. He added that PAS and other PN component parties are ready for any situation, and the Islamist Party has even launched its state-level election machinery. Yesterday, Ismail Sabri had raised concerns over a possible hung parliament or a situation where no one single party will be able to obtain enough seats to form the government without any coalition partners. AMNO President Ahmad had commented on Ismail's statement, saying that the fear of a hung parliament should not be used as an excuse to delay GE15.
A PAS vice president is still hoping the party will be able to work out an understanding with AMNO for GE15. This is to avoid three-cornered fights. PAS Vice President Muhammad Amar Nik Abdullah said PAS is still hoping to work out an understanding with AMNO to avoid three-cornered fights in the 15 general election, especially in Kelantan. However, he added that PAS is prepared for any eventuality, and if they had to fight AMNO, so be it. According to Bernama, Amar, who is also the Kelantan Deputy Menteri Besar, told reporters this after a Kelantan Perikatan Nasional gathering last night. He said the party hoped that this would not happen as they want to reach an understanding to avert three-cornered contests. Amar added that if PAS and AMNO could work out an electoral understanding, Pakatan Harapan would not be able to win. However, in the event of three-cornered fights in Kelantan, Amar said that PAS was still confident of winning. His remarks came just days after AMNO Secretary General Ahmad Maslan reminded all AMNO chapters to stick to the party's decision of not cooperating with PAS and Bersatu for the upcoming general election. Ahmad Maslan had said this in response to Selangor AMNO, which had sought autonomy to work with PAS in order to defeat Pakatan Harapan in GE15. He said they upheld the decision made by the party in the annual General Assembly in March. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.